Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We have the showcase for the newly Easy Aid LR Kale Caulifla that dropped actually yesterday, but we're going through so much worldwide news that they kind of had to take a back seat. That was more important. But we do have them right now, level 10 links, 2 dupes, not quite rainbow, but the 2 dupes will be enough. Of course, I haven't summoned for the new Kale unit, so I can't run that rotation, which, again, I'll say this. While Dokkan didn't go crazy and change too much of LR Kale Caulifla, they updated them where they are runnable and still a very good solid Easy A in 2023. And if you did summon for Kale for whatever reason, maybe you're a fan, maybe you wanted her, maybe you wanted to run this rotation, it will work very well in difficult content. But because we don't have her, we've got on the 200% lead of joined forces and was it Pure Saiyans under Goku and Vegeta. And we've also got Tech Kale and Caulifla here as well, just to trigger some of them links. And to be fair, Tech Kale and Caulifla have aged quite a bit. I mean, if you had them like a decent amount of dupes or rainbowed, you could probably run them in difficult content here and there, as long as like you keep them safe. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I have them at only 55%, right? Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I haven't even got them at 55 because I'm pretty, yeah, they're not even SA10, they're SA1. But still, without dupes, they're a bit of a risk going into difficult content. So if I'm going to make like red zone videos on these guys, I'm probably not going to run them with Kale and Caulifla, which is a shame because we won't trigger the Universe 6 portion of their category, but you know, it's fine. So right now we have Super Saiyan Tournament of Power prepared for battle, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power active. We're missing Battlefield Diva and Warrior of Universe 6, but they have a pretty good link set for them to link generically like with other like Saiyan units, Super Saiyan units, things like that. So we are starting on a 610k attack stat, which is really nice, 182k defense, but of course they stack on both 12 and 18 key, so that will start going up and up and up the longer we are in the fight, which is very nice. Of course, the main thing is them stacking, as already mentioned, raising their defense by 30% on both 12 and 18k supers. Starting on 7.49 is actually pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie, that's actually pretty decent. 7.49 million super is decent damage to start off like straight away. And again, while they're stacking on both 12 and 18 keys with built-in additionals, along with also having dupes as a possibility as well, that's actually pretty nice. I can't lie, that's actually a very good start. And now they start with key plus 3. I did not realize I had the end. Oh, that's right. Because of the update, I would have to manually switch it off. I mean, I haven't seen this in a hot minute. This is really nice. I mean, we'll just rock with it. But after easying, they do get key plus 3 in attack and defense plus 130 and launch an additional attack that has a 50% chance of becoming a super attack. Just straight built-in, which is, of course, going to be a big help for them stacking up their defense as quick as possible. So that's going to help out a lot in difficult content, considering red zone isn't long form content. So that is going to help them there. Build up their defense to be in like a sustainable spot. They are also raising their attack by 30% on 12 key. Of course, they don't get any attack buff on the 18 key, just stack defense. I think it would have been nice if they got the raising the attack on both, or maybe like 50 on 18, 30 on 12, or maybe got more defense on the 18 key and got the attack and defense by 30% on just 12. I feel like they should have had the attack somewhere on the 18 key. But the built-in additional, as I said, is very nice at helping them stack even quicker, again, especially with red zone not being that long. The same can be said for Sin Shenron in the Shadow Dragon event. It's not that long of content, so having the built-in additionals are going to help you stack them up quickly. They also have an additional attack and defense plus 66% and launching another additional attack. There's a 70% chance of becoming a super attack when HP is 66% or less. Of course, we won't be triggering that just yet, and probably won't really, just because of the content we're in. But in red zone, getting your HP down to that threshold shouldn't be too difficult. The difficulty will probably come into surviving and maintaining it, especially with the category that I am running. Not that it's bad, but you know, we don't really have any like top 10 units that have like guard and things that will just soak up damage like a sponge. But if you can maintain your HP at that 66% HP threshold, you've already got a 50% chance of launching an additional super just anyway. And then if you can maintain that, you then have a 70% chance of launching an additional super on top of that. So that'll be 3 potential super attacks just off their kit alone, before you factor in if you have any dupes, which, considering this unit is a little bit older at this point, wouldn't surprise me if you did. So we're going to lose the Tournament of Power link just because, again, realistically, when I'm going to be using these guys, I won't probably have a Tournament of Power unit with them, just because a lot of them are outdated at this point. So we're on a 583k attack stat, so we've gone down a little bit. Almost if we did have Tournament of Power but lose Prepared for Battle. We got to 591, so, I mean, we lose a little bit. It's not too much, just a little bit. We're up to 273k defense off of 2 stacks, which is really nice. But again, getting that, like, guaranteed 2 additionals once you get your HP down to 66% HP or less is really nice. As I said, the main thing is just maintaining it and surviving with it. We're only going to get one stack off here, but 7.16 is a very good attack stat to put out. Again, when you consider the amount of times these two can possibly super, over a 7 mil attack stat, not once, maybe twice, and maybe even 3 times, and potentially 4 with a dupe. Over 7 mil, 3 to 4 times is decent amounts of damage to do. Even at twice, if you don't have your HP at 66% or less, you can still be hitting 3 from dupes. But between 2 to 3 and potentially 4 super attacks in a turn, like that 7 mil or over 7 mil between 2, 3, and 4 times, again, that's decent amount of damage to do. That is really good amounts of damage to do, especially if you hit a crit along the way. And again, that's between 2, 3, maybe 4 stacks as well. So the damage is there. The stacking of the defense you can do relatively quickly. And even without Kale, who's a pretty decent slot 1 unit if you do have the Universe 6 category ally, which, as I've mentioned before several times, this is the unit you're going to be running next to her just because the other ones aren't viable nowadays. But if I was to run them on this lead and run like a bird coup on a 170 in slot 1, it would actually work really well. You've got the slot 1 unit, you've got these two stacking, doing the amounts of damage they can do. It can actually work really well. But not only that as well, they will get key +1 up to 6, which is very nice because in LR you can get the consistency of launching 18 key supers left and right, and a chance of evading enemies' attack +6% up to 66% with each attack performed, which again, all those built-in additionals, if you can trigger them, and again, potentially dupes, are going to help you build up that portion of the passive even quicker. As you can see here, we're literally stacked. We are stacked right now. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to let Kale Caulifla, the tech one, go in slot 1. We've got all links active right now with the gods. We are sitting on a 632k attack, so we're up to 365k defense. Bear in mind, they have super attacked a total of, I think, 3 times. Yeah, the first appearance they super attacked twice, maybe 3 times, but I think it's twice. And then the second appearance, we only got to super attack once. And they're already up to almost 400k defense. So if you're getting lucky with the additional supers popping more often than not, you can get their defense up to a very good spot, or solid enough spot, relatively quickly, while putting out some very impressive numbers at over 7 mil multiple times, which means the amount of damage you're doing to enemies is up there. Can we lose a bit of HP? That's great, because we need to get our HP at 66% or less. That'd actually be really nice, because then we can trigger that 70% chance of launching an additional super on top of the one we've already got. But yeah, so we then go up to a 6 key and 66% attack. We're up to 8.67 mil with all links active. That's really nice. Again, when you consider they're constantly stacking the amount of times they can super attack, that's great. 8.2 mil crit. There's the additional 2 stacks up. We're only going to get 2. But yeah, the 66% chance to dodge, really nice. Again, when you consider that they're going to be stacking the entire time, like literally, because they don't have any transformations or they don't lose the stack, any of that, and they stack on both 12 and 18 key, because they're stacking the entire time, you're literally going to get them up to, as I said, solid amount of defense. And again, that's just going to continuously go higher and higher and higher the longer you're in the event. Like, imagine a Broly, right? One of the longer, more difficult events in the game. You're in there for like a good few phases. Like, you're in there for what, like 4 or 5 phases? You have the strength, tech, strength. So you're in there for 4 phases, and however many turns you're in each phase 4, you could stack them up pretty well, pretty high. Again, especially if the additionals are all popping off. Especially if you trigger the 3rd one with that 70% chance. And then when you factor in dupes, that's even more super attacks. Along with having a 66% chance to dodge. Now, you can't dodge Broly, but even in general, my point's there of the longer you're in a fight, or however long you're in the fight, they're going to continuously stack however long you're in there, and every time they super attack, while having a 66% chance to dodge. That's pretty decent. So their defensive options are there, which I'm a big fan of that. The constant stacking and 66% chance to dodge. You can build that 16 66% chance up so quickly because of the built-in additionals as well, which means you got that dodge chance while you're even stacking their defense. It's kind of like a backup, kind of like a contingency to kind of cover them. Again, big fan of that. Do you know what? Let me pop an Icarus. I want to lose a little bit more HP, so I'm going to do this. Again, we still got them on rotation with Kale Caulifla, 740k attacks. They're up to 6. See, this is what I mean. 618k defense. We're on turn 7. So yeah, realistically, by the time you get to like Broly's final phase, or maybe like 2 turns in, depending on how quickly you get there, you're on enough defense to tank Broly's basics. Super attack with an item, yeah, they're good. You can't dodge, unfortunately. But then take a Cooler Core, for example. You're stuck there for 3 turns. As long as they appear on turn 1, you can get like a few stacks off. And again, because the Cooler Army doesn't die, you get some extra stacks off. Because you can just keep hitting the health bar and not have to like move on until, of course, those 3 turns are up. You could get their defense to a pretty good spot while also being able to utilize that 66% chance to dodge. So I said, while they didn't do anything crazy with LR Kale and Caulifla's EZA, while they didn't do anything insane and change too much, they essentially updated what was already very good about them. And they are a very good, very solid EZA, and will of course work really well with the new Dokkan Fest Kale. And there's a good linking partner to go with her. We're up to over 10 mil, by the way. 10 mil. How many times are we going to super attack? There's 1, of course. There's the double. Again, 2 stacks, pretty much almost no matter what. Yeah, there's a 50% chance to do so, but so far we've constantly popped that additional super, which is great. There's 3. That's 3 stacks. And think about all the damage they're doing. But not only that as well, they do get attack plus 10% per Universe 6 Join Forces or Pure Saiyans category ally on the team. That isn't... We just super attacked 4 times. Again, as I said, they stacked 4 times in 1 turn while doing that amount of damage combined. It's really good. And again, while having a 66% chance to dodge, which they've just triggered there. Twice. 3 times. 3 times a lady. Like, they're so good. They're good. They were already a good unit. And just having them updated, to me, like, is enough for them. But as I said, in terms of that 10% attack they get per Universe 6 Join Forces or Pure Saiyans category ally on the team, which... To be fair, that's like an extra 50-60% attack, which does kind of make a difference when you tot it up. When you think about it, it's very easy to trigger it. It's very easy to get all 60%. Because even in my situation where I'm not going to be running the Kale and I'll run them on this because it's the only 200% lead I have. When you think about it, or even on the 170 lead, most best units in the game fall under Pure Saiyans. The majority of them. Yes, there are some in there that aren't, but the majority of them. Like the Year 7 Gods and the Super Saiyan 4s, both viable. While they're not the greatest and quite underwhelming, the LRSSJ Goku and Vegeta from the last year's Worldwide, they can do a job. They're solid. They'll survive. Okay, especially with dupes. You know, you're also looking at potential... That's actually just Joint Forces units. If you look at like Pure Saiyan units, I mean, again, even on a 170 lead, you've got like God Goku, you've got, you know, World Tournament Goku. You know what I mean? There's plenty of units. You've got Birdku, you've got Z Carnival Strength Goku. There's multiple units in the game. LRSSJ4 Goku in a few months as well is another one. You should be able to get that 10% Universe 6 Join Forces and Pure Saiyan category allies. You should be able to get that boost relatively easily. And even if you miss out on like a couple units, 40-50 is still a decent amount of extra attack to get. But yeah, we're up to 711k defense. Bear in mind, we're up to turn 9. And off of recent memory, I'm pretty sure turn 9 was like the final turn you're going to be on like Broly, which again is one of the longer red zone stages in the game. So it's actually realistically possible for you to get up to 711k defense, which is actually really good. When you consider this unit doesn't have damage reduction or guard, 711k defense is really good. And obviously where you can utilize it, you know, 500k plus defense with a 66% chance to dodge, also very good. Very good. Also, to round out their passive, they also launch an additional super attack, guaranteed, which we've been doing here, of course, because Vegeta is a pure Saiyan enemy. They will have a guaranteed additional super when they're facing a Universe Survival Saga or pure Saiyans category enemy. Now, unfortunately, with all the difficult content in the game being around extreme type units and extreme class units, Broly, Cooler Core, Sin Shenron, Cell Max, both Cell Maxes, and then eventually in a couple weeks time when we get the Dismal Future Red Zone, Merge Masu, none of those fall under those categories. So you won't be triggering that additional super in the difficult content where it really matters. But like a specific ESBR stage, they can pop off. They can pop off even in incredibly short content like that. So until the day where we get like a super class version of Red Zone, or just essentially super class like content that's ultra difficult, where you're going to be facing Gokus and Vegetas, that guaranteed additional you will probably hardly be seeing, unfortunately. But even without it, you still have the potential to super attack like 3-4 times in one turn. Yeah, don't get me wrong, 5's great. Like the amount of damage you're doing off 5 super attacks and, you know, potentially raking your defense 5 times in one turn is amazing. Like, I'm pretty sure we've done it the last time they appeared. But still, between 3 and 4 is still very good. But I like the Rize. I like it a lot. I like how much they help Kale. Unfortunately, Kale was a bit too reliant on them, but that is mainly just because there's no other good Universe 6 category units right now. And as I've already said before, Universe Survival Saga reps, Universe 6, they need a pick-me-up. They haven't been touched in so long until Kale briefly now on Universe Survival Saga and Universe 6. So once that category or those bunch of categories start to get a pick-me-up, you know, Kale will be better served. These guys, they will help them as well. But they're not ultra reliant on being around those category allies, which I'm a fan of. But as I said, I do really like this EZA. If you do have the Kale, they do work really well with them. I know their EZA isn't insane and they haven't changed up too much, but for what they have done, which is essentially update them into a 2023 unit, they're still very good and they still work really well, again, especially next to Kale as that rotation. But big fan of all the stacking and how quick you can build up their defense. The amount of damage they can do in one turn is up there while having a 66% chance to dodge. They're a very good EZA. They're very solid and they're probably going to be a lot of fun to use. But do let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe while you are there. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and peace.